Hi, this is Alejandro Sanchez, a student from BOAP University, and in this case I'm going to present you a lecture from the subject Language as a Discourse. The title of this project is Writing an Academic Text with Coherence and Cohesion. Here I go. Well, most of the times we think that we have the abilities to write whatever kind of texts, but unfortunately this not happen because writing an academic essay or text requires abilities and knowledge. Grammar and punctuation are important tools in this process, but the most important are coherence and cohesion. Now the question is, what is two definitions refers? Let's introduce this one. The first one, coherence. Well, coherence refers to the organization of discourse with all elements present and fitting together logically. The second one, cohesion, it refers to the ways of connecting sentences and paragraphs into a unified whole. Even though these words are used together, these are very different because coherence organizes all the elements logically. On the other hand, cohesion refers to connect sentences and paragraphs. According to Halliday and Hassan, who classify the cohesive devices into two important categories, we can say that pronoun reference is the first one, the second is the substitution, ellipse is the third one, and finally we have the conjunctions. Let's introduce one by one. Two linguistic elements are related in what they refer to. This is the reference, and we have three categories. The number one is the pronoun, the demonstrative the second, and finally the comparative. For pronouns we have personal, possessive, and determinants. In the demonstrative we have this and this for the objects that are near of us, and finally we have that and those for the fortes. Words like same, identical, similarity, and little are examples for comparatives. Here I have a sentence. John lives near the park. He often goes there. In this sentence, I am using the reference. The next one, substitution. It has the intention to replace a word or an item by another, and we have three categories too. The first one is the nominal, for example, one or once, the same, so. Do the same, and be so are examples for verbal. And finally, we use so for affirmative clausal and not for the negative clausal. I have a little conversation, which is, do you think Katie already knows? I think everybody does. In this example, I am using the verbal substitution because I change the verb knows. Next one is the ellipsis. Ellipsis has the intention to delay words, expression, or phrases just by zero. I mean, the principal function of the ellipsis is the non-repetition of words in a writing. We have three categories. The nominal, for example, these are my two dogs. I used to have four. Verbal ellipsis could be, are you intelligent? Yes, I am. And number three, clausal. For example, who could have broken those tiles? I can't think who. The final example or category is the conjunctions. As we know, conjunctions connects sentences or phrases, and we have two types of conjunctions. The first one, coordinating and subordinating. talking about cohesive, we have 4 categories: additive or additive, for example, and or nor; adversative, like but or yet. Adversative means contrary. I mean, it's the opposite to the additives. I have words like because or so, which are examples of casual, and temporal, like until, then, or after. So if somebody used the previous information, now I can say that he could be able to write an academic text. He or she has to take into account words for providing extra information. In other words, additive. Words like instead of, rather, express comparatives. Yeah, and we have to use conditional, or the writer has to use conditional. It could be dependent or independent clauses. Yeah, and words like in fact or for example are typical examples. Yeah, for clarifying information. So, as a conclusion, well, in this part I want to say that cohesion and coherence share the same function, but we have to remember that they are not similar, okay? While we are creating or creating a text, our text is going to be cohesive if all the elements are linked together. And finally, a text is coherent if it makes sense and it should be clear when we are reading. So finally, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for taking your time in watching this lecture. Now I would like to say you that I want to share another extra information in previous days, and I want to be glad to say hello to you as very soon as possible. Thank you very much, and that's it.